When it comes to surreal RPG Maker games, it's always the same few recommendations. Humaniki, Lisa, Hylix, Space Funeral, and maybe even Toilet in Wonderland if we're feeling a little frisky. People toss those titles around like tennis balls. Well, I eat balls for breakfast, and I'm here to show you a game so obscure and cryptic but will most likely, maybe, perhaps, spook you out a bit. One thing is for certain though, it's gonna be a real classic game. No, seriously, that's the name of the game. Good luck trying to find anything on Google about it. But yeah, Classic Game is an apocalyptic ASCII RPG adventure created by Horses Music Dogs, started in 2011 and released in 2017. Not much is known about the game's developer. He's an electronic musician who has produced soundtracks for indie games like The Cat Lady, and he's from Canada. That's pretty much it. As for the game itself, it's one of those indie games, you know what I'm talking about. The ones you find after a deep dive on itch.io, leave them forgotten on your computer for a month or two, then come back to them and double click the exe file terrified about what's gonna happen next, but despite its intimidating nature, we have a hidden gem on our hands. Let's dive deeper and see why Classic Game is such an interesting little oddity. As you begin the game, a snowy forest slowly fades into view. A single sentence appears on your screen. 2 days ago, it began to snow heavily. Darkness follows. And you're at home. The adventure has begun, and that's all you'll get regarding the plot, at least for a while. The game's page doesn't help that much either. You play as a hermit, returning to a land ravaged by curses, and monsters, and cryptic puzzles. Lots of negative vibes in general. Okay, so what is your mission? Let's consult the game's page again. Let's see here. Lose reasons to live, become cursed, find a girl, consume human souls, and die in more than a few ways. Yeah, that makes sense. So basically, there is no story in the traditional sense. Exploring around and interacting with the few survivors that remain will give you some small tidbits of information about how the world got cursed and what the inhabitants of a land had to do to escape from their doom, but there's no definitive end goal that is immediately apparent to you. Classic Game is all about experimentation and exploration. There are multiple endings and a variety of different secrets that you can find if you look hard enough, and I guess everything contributes to an overarching plot that vaguely ties everything together. But it's not about finishing the game, it's about accruing an epitaph worth remembering, a profound allegory to life itself, and an overall captivating experience. At first glance, Classic Game's presentation can be interpreted as crude and minimalistic, but still it manages to evoke a very bleak and foreboding atmosphere. Since this is an old RPG Maker game, the graphics are pixelated and simplistic in their approach. Interestingly enough, every character and monster here is represented by a single letter of the alphabet, kinda like how old roguelikes used to portray their characters. So the hermit is your standard @ symbol, and each creature is the first letter of her name. R for rabbit, S for spider, M for mongrel, and so on. In my opinion, it's an ingenious approach, saving resources by avoiding drawing complex sprites, while at the same time leaving the player's imagination run wild on how everyone looks. The colors are muted, the backgrounds abstract and incomprehensible, and some areas are almost completely enveloped in darkness, contributing to the game's depressing vibes. You are all alone in a hostile environment where nothing makes sense, and everything is against you, an idea that is amazingly portrayed by the game's sprite work and soundtrack. Oh yeah, the music! It's gonna kick your ass! Sound effects are very sparse and garish, while most of the game's music is comprised of dark ambient and harsh noise tracks. Some areas even have a pounding electronic beat accompanying the action, making you feel anxious and restless. All in all, the game's art style is simplistic but brutal, and its atmosphere is oppressive but mysterious and intriguing at the same time. Sometimes though, you'll find a freshly lit bonfire, the colors becoming warmer as you approach. You lie down as the fire crackles merrily, warming your bones. Classic games gameplay is not something you can delve into and enjoy in the classic sense of the word. See what I did there? Let me tell you about my first experience with the game. I woke up, picked up some stuff from my drawers, went out into the wild, got absolutely destroyed by a random rabbit, lost a reason to live, went through limbo, then I was finally reborn and back at my place. A standard Tuesday for my unemployed friend. But this whole clusterfuck is indicative of the game as a whole. Classic game is an experience that does not help you figure things out even for a second. On the one hand, it can be quite interesting experimenting with all the different abilities you have, trying to get unique interactions and unlock special events. On the other hand, it can be quite a convoluted mess. It doesn't help that the game has a time limit as well. You start the adventure with a specific number of reasons to live, and with each passing day or death, you lose one of them. Lose them all and it's game over. Damn, I wasn't expecting such a relatable experience. Anyway, I'm not sure if it's even possible to beat this game without a guide, because its mechanics are as complex as they are cryptic. You can check your surroundings and your condition at any time, fight creatures using a unique custom-made battle system, level up your stats, or use spells and scrolls to teleport yourself to various locations, or even suck the soul out of someone you don't like. Poof, he's gonna feel that one tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I mean the next cosmic timeline shift. There is even some basic survival, cooking, and crafting mechanics to add to the experience. There's just so much to do, it's crazy. The world is very open-ended, and every action has some sort of karmic consequence, even though it's not always obvious to the player. Thanks to its incredible world design, the game excels at immersing you into its world by providing minimal hints and just letting you do your thing. However, there is a pretty big caveat to all this, and that's the fact that classic game demands some extreme logic leaps from you to progress, point-and-click adventure style. Let me start you off with an easy one. Sometimes to acquire items crucial to your escapades, you have to search drawers and chests multiple times, even though the game keeps telling you that they are empty. Scrolls are an extremely important and limited resource, and most of the time they're gonna be unidentified. Other times you're gonna be forced to use all your resources just to unlock a new path that leads to a dead end. Or maybe it plays a crucial role in the story, I don't know, and you're not gonna know either. But besides all those game design faults, there are parts in the adventure where the game just really fucking hates your guts. Dark caves with limited visibility? Splendid. Maze-like corridors where you can barely see where you're going? Wonderful. But my favorite is when you grab a random mushroom and get completely blinded by it. Great, how do you fix it? You have to teleport into some random area you've never been to before and find your way to the healer so he can restore your eyesight. I'm sorry, but that's just a humongous dick move. Oh well, that's just how the game is. Enigmatic, obscure, and mesmerizing. At times it feels like a ritual of sorts, and there are various references to occult practices strewn about. Maybe there's something deeper into it? That's a story for a different time and a different YouTube channel. When it comes to the gameplay itself though, Classic Game is delightfully complex, mysterious, sometimes frustrating, but above all, an enchanting adventure. Man, what else is there to say about this little masterpiece? I probably barely scratched the surface. And you know what? It's better that way. The magic of Classic Game is in its unwelcoming nature, shrouded in obscurity. You are on your own, trapped in a world full of monsters, with a demonic presence looming in the distance. There is no story and nothing makes sense. Slowly but surely though, you'll be uncovering the game's secrets and finding new exciting things via trial and error. Sure, the time limit feels restrictive, while some parts are way too punishing and obtuse to figure out without a walkthrough, but for a small indie game made by a single developer, this is an amazing adventure full of neat little Easter eggs and things to discover. You could be playing for hours and still find something new, which is a testament to the creator's attention to detail. Seriously, play this game, play the sequels, and support Horse's Music Dogs and all his artistic endeavors. He deserves it. And that's all I had to say about Classic Game. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe for more stuff. You know how it goes. You can also join my Discord and follow me on Twitter. Have a great day, and until next time, take care and have fun.